Hi, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Kim. I'm a married mom of two. My son is 14, my daughter is 9. And I've worked with children the majority of my life. I've taught Head Start for about 10 years, just shy of 10 years. Those are ages 3 to 5. I had an in home daycare for infants up to 16 years of age, but the majority of my children were 5 and under. Um, I ran that pretty much like a preschool. I have taught children's church at my church. I've tutored. I've been a substitute teacher for the public school system. I have babysat since a young age. I've done the summer programs a couple of years where we will feed the children at lunch and do different activities with them, sports, crafts, hobbies, things like that. So the majority of my life I've been working with children. I like to think my sweet spot, or the age that I really like working with, are children ages 5 and under. Although I like working with all of them, I should say that's the age I work with the most for the longest amount of time consistently. So as a Head Start teacher, I got to meet a lot of parents, a lot of families, and as I stepped away from that job, I kept in contact. Our town is pretty small, so a lot of them would contact me saying that they know other family members who have children that need help with reading or learning the alphabet, or they needed help with how they could help their child who was already in the public school system who was struggling, or some stay-at-home moms, new moms. Um, my nephew's wife, she likes to call and ask me sometimes about activities to do. I have a cousin who I talk to quite often who likes to talk about what she's doing with her baby and ask me different ideas. And I absolutely love it because I like to see the babies learning. I like to see the mamas helping the babies and them having a good time doing activities. I just like to do it. So I decided to make a video about it. My thing that I like to do is I like to come up with a theme, whether we're in, let's say the fall season is coming up. And I like to think, what are things that has to do with fall? So leaves, pumpkins, apples, football, just all kind of things that you could just come up with a theme. You could do it weekly, you can do it monthly. Doesn't matter. Depends on what you have. And don't think that you need a lot of money or a lot of time to do this. Whether you could just go buy a few things from the dollar store, or whether you have money to buy things from these educational places like Lakeshore or wherever, or whether you don't have any money at all, you can use things that you like, things you throw away, packages from your food that you're eating, whatever. You can, whatever financial level you're on, you can work with your child. And I always say the children's attention span isn't that long anyway, unless they're just some that who have a longer attention span. But the majority of the children, like for my daycare, we would do educational instruction. We would do it for maybe 20 minutes a day, and the rest of the time was just their free time, playtime, and they learned a lot. Each one of my children got to kindergarten being above what they were expected to learn or know. So like I said, I pick a theme. Sometimes if I don't have a theme, I just pick a book. So today I'll use this as an example. My son used to always love trains, so we bought him this book called Freight Train. And yes, this book is about 14 years old. We just took pretty good care of our books. And if you do not have many books, you can use the library. And I know some people like us, we're a one-car household, and my husband uses that car for work. So we're not able to just run out and get things. We do most of our running on the weekend, library or whatever. But some of you may not be close to a library, may not have access. But there are ways around not having the book. I know we don't like to have the babies on too much screen time, but many books can be found on YouTube where they have people reading them aloud. I'd say that you would check the book first to see if it's on their educational level, it's not too long. Another option is a lot of pediatrician gives away books on their visits, so you can use those on their well checkup visits. A lot of communities have started having the little book giveaway boxes where you can go and borrow a book or swap out books. That's another way. A lot of thrift stores have books for little or nothing. Just different places like that. So don't think you have to have a lot of money to buy books. Are expensive. But don't think you have to have money or, a lot to purchase these books. So like I said, library, the book boxes where they give away the books for children to read, you can find around town, some towns and communities. And if you have to do a little screen time, if you're going to do screen time, let it be educational. You can find ebooks as well. If you can't get to your library, another option some libraries have where you can check out ebooks, meaning you go on the computer and you check out digital books. You check out the book and they'll let you be able to upload it and look or read the book on your phone. But use a book as your theme. So this one is called Freight Train. It's a simple book, doesn't have many words. And usually when I read the book and go through the book, I'll pick out, see what kind of topics that I can pull away from this book. So in here, it goes over the different colors. So that's one topic that we focus on, are colors. Another topic are the names of the cars. They name each car. Some other things are some new words that they might learn in here. Vocabulary is important. So a freight train, you might talk about what freight means. We're looking at the cities. Some children might be in the rural area, and you can talk about cities. We can talk about the types of bridges that you may see. Trestle bridges, and what that means. We could talk about daytime, nighttime, because it's moving in the darkness, moving in the daylight. So just pick out a couple of things that you can focus on and then go from there. Now, as I worked at Head Start, we would kind of like testing them. I wouldn't say test, but assess is the better word. The children in 4 main categories with the curriculum that we used. The first one was social, meaning I like to think more of like lifestyle, just life skills. Learning about emotions and things like that, or self-help skills, things you do for yourself, or rules, or interacting with other people. We would have movement, which is called motor skills. Fine motors is when you use your finger, little small movements like writing, cutting, zipping, buttoning, things like that. Gross motor are the bigger movements, running, jumping, climbing. Then we would move on to thinking skills, like exploring and discovering. You probably think of that like science, or just going out and discovering things in the world, observing things and noticing details and stuff like that. Then you get on in that same category of patterns and matching colors, shapes, numbers, counting, different things like that. Then we move on to the 4th category, which is language, which we know, reading, you already covered one, writing the language and speaking the language. So alphabets and phonics and reading words and writing your name, things like that. And just as an example, writing their name would go on language, because you're writing the language, alphabet, and then it could also go under that fine motor because they're using their fingers to do that. So those are the things that I used to keep in the back of my mind when I was planning or coming up with activities. And so, for instance, with this book, The Freight Train, we could think about social skills. So also under that area of critical thinking, imaginative play. Let them have time to take what they learned in this book, and if they have a little train set, let them play with the trains and see if you'll hear them using the different terms in this book. So you can say, what kind of train do you have? Do you have a freight train? Do you have is steam coming out of your train? Do you have a coal car on your train? My son learned different words. He was a words guy. And we would just come up with big words, as people would say, or larger, expand his vocabulary. We would say, let's couple the cars together, and people would hear him out playing and say, Mom, can I couple these cars? And they were like, people antennas go up. And these big words, or what people think are big words, will be just everyday terms or vocabulary for him. So, for instance, social skills. They will learn that after playing with the cars or the train or whatever activities to do, clean up. Clean up your cars. Clean up your activities. That's a life skill that you'll have to learn. Also, let's see what else. For motor skills, they could push the cars. They could paint or draw. You could print out a train picture from the internet and let them color a train with different colors. For the big movements, you can pretend to be a train. You can hold on to each other's waist, kind of like you do the cha-cha dance, and just turn on some music and pretend to be a train with your kid. Just have fun. For discovering, if you have a way or you're near a train track, just go in the car and go watch some trains. My son loves this. He loved trains so much that before school I would ride by the train track at the time that I knew the train would be going through, and that would just make his morning, that we would just go and watch the trains, calm him down before we got to school. He loved that. So just go train watching one day. That's discovering the world around you. As far as patterns, you can go over all the colors. It just depends on what age your child is. It depends on what they already know. So if they already know their colors, maybe we could say, we will open this page and you would give them some blocks or crayons or something that you already have around your house, and let them match. Put all the green things on the green card. Put all the blue things on the blue card, and all the purple things on the purple card. If your child, this is too easy for them, start working on the color words, purple, blue. Write those words on a piece of paper and see if they can identify it, or let them come look in the book and see, oh, this one has the same letters, so this must mean green. And then you put the green things on the word green. Just depends. And if you have an infant or baby, just read to them. And reading to the infants, it's teaching them to get ready for all this other stuff. You would be amazed what some 1 and 2 year old babies would learn at daycare. My son was reading at 3. I have my 2-year-old great nephew now. You would be amazed at the things that he knows already from his mom just working with him for 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. So just simple things. Don't try to think too much or try to be too elaborate with what you're teaching them. Use what you have. If you want to go out and buy a little train set at the Dollar Tree, I know some of the things don't last very long, but if you don't have much money, I mean, if you want to just run out and do something to make this for a whole month, and you will be surprised at how much your child learns. And not even stopping here, you can look at videos of different trains. You can go out and watch the trains. You can draw trains together. You can get some old boxes, cereal boxes, macaroni boxes, and make a train car. I would say this time of year, which is August, is the best time to get supplies because it's back to school time. And get a box of crayon, scissors, glue, and some construction paper, and you will be surprised at all the things you can do. I mean, you can get more things than that, but those are the basics that you can get in some paper, and then just cut and glue. It does not have to look nice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just doing it with your kids, getting them used to the cutting. Even with cutting, I used for daycare when the children practice cutting, that's when they would send out all those sale ads in the mail, and I would get those or old newspapers, ask the parents to bring them, and I would tell them to cut out the coupons. They would sit there and practice cutting on that line, and it would be so quiet in here, and they would just be focusing. Don't worry about the mess. We cleaned up, we turned on the song and cleaned up the mess, that social skill, cleaning up after yourself. We did that when we were done. And they would sit there and they would cut and cut and they would have the best time. So try not to think of it as this big thing that you have to do so much and be so elaborate. Once you start teaching them how to learn or how to explore and how to discover things and putting those little things of matching and patterns and counting together, they'll start doing things of their own. So that's my little tidbit for today. Hopefully I can make some more videos with books and ideas. This was my first one. I didn't really plan on what I would say or what I would do. This is just little things off the top of my head, but I have so many ideas that I probably could make a whole lot more videos about free things that you can use for your children, about another video explaining those 4 areas, different activities for babies to do, infants in the high chair, because like some people who, there are some moms who don't mind a mess. There are some moms who don't like to deal with mess. You can still work with your child either way. For the moms who don't mind mess and you have a 1-year-old or toddler, you don't want to deal with paint, let them use a little baby food or applesauce or something to paint their pictures. It's all kind of things that you can do. If you don't like the mess, you can zip it up in a Ziploc bag and just let them squeeze the paint inside the bag. It all stays in there. You could use Play-Doh. You could use, it's so many things that you could do with the kids. I just could go on and on talking forever, but this is long enough for now. So I hope this helps somebody. If you want to see more videos of books or themes of how to work with your baby at home or your toddler or preschooler at home, if you have any books that you'd like, just let me know and I'll make another video. But for now, have fun with your babies and enjoy this time of being a mom to the little ones. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.